See, you sit your ass down when you follow me. What's good, people? We are live. We are live. It is another episode of Brothers Vent 2. I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. Fifi, I see you. I want to first say that I am not drinking tonight because I got to get on the road tomorrow. So I am drinking water.
Where you going?
Going to Dallas to see my people.
Oh, your people.
My family, my mother, and my uncles, and all of them. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay, stay there
believe
in
that.
Arkansas.
This
Shout
your boy
out to
T.
Dallas.
This your boy T coming from the A by way of law. I might drink the Crown tonight. I've been on a fruit and vegetable fast till Wednesday, so I really don't supposed to be drinking, but I might drink tonight. But I'm definitely eating right. So let's get it.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Ward. I'm coming to you live from Shreveport, Louisiana, originally from Lake Providence, Louisiana. I just want to give a shout out to Jackson State University, the greatest university in the world. Like I was talking about last week before T fell out of his chair, we had the strong potential of signing Deion
That
Sanders,
messed up, bro.
and that came to fruition. So I just want to say welcome, Prime, Coach Prime, to the greatest university in the world, Jackson State University. Shout out to T with the chair shaking back.
It's your boy
What
Rob
else?
coming to you from sunny Corona, Tampa, by way of Bolton, Mississippi. I'm on some blueberry wine tonight. It's been a long week. Let's get it.
What up? This your boy Crowley representing Jack, the hometown, in the hometown of the I love. Definitely want to shout out Jackson State. I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. So loving this hire. Put your hand down. And definitely got to represent for my boy Diddy on that Ciroc tonight. Take that. Let's get it in.
I almost muted you. You said something about some damn Dallas Cowboys. And so,
Just haters all around. I drink to you haters.
Whatever. Anyway, moving on, going straight to the first topic. Corey gonna be in a little later. I don't think he gonna be on tonight. He said he got some work to do, projects and things of that nature. And no, Quinn, we do not cap on this show. We do nothing but tell the truth. So go ahead and get it started. First topic. We're gonna start off on a light note. Well, kind of light note. Talking about black men and financial security. So we saw a lot of social media posts, one in general, talking about a man may want to stay home, live with his parents to build up his finances before he want to move out. And also about how black men may want to share the rent or, take some of that financial burden off themselves in order to have a better future for themselves, right? Just taking that financial burden away. So, but you see a lot of pushback on that. So I want to ask y'all the question, have y'all seen this? And what's wrong with a man wanting financial security either in a relationship or by himself? Like, what's the issue with a man making a decision to better his finances and splitting that with his spouse?
Well, you can't split bills with these women in 2020, bro. You can't.
Ooh, why not?
You can't do it now. I ain't ready.
Go ahead and get into it.
I ain't ready to
We've
go.
been.
Just said you can't split. You can't split the bills with, according to social media. You can't split bills, bro. You're not a man. You're not a real man. You're not their what it is, they daddy or they granddaddy.
Because you do see those posts. They say they granddaddy paid for everything, even though the wife may have stuck with him through all the cheating. The granddaddy still paid for everything in the household. So you see those social media posts where women are expecting the same. But I even saw one post where a woman said she going on vacation with a man and she got to pay for anything. She ain't giving it up. Like, what's wrong with a man wanting financial security? Go ahead, Rob. Nobody else want to say nothing. I know you go ahead and talk.
I'll jump in there.
So I had a discussion. I'm not gonna say it was an argument. I had a discussion with one of our viewers about this specific topic, and she was disagreeing with me that a lot of women bring up the glory days of our grandparents where the man paid all the bills. But during those glory days, he either had another family or he was raising 1 to 2 to 3 or 4 kids that weren't his and he didn't know about it. And so when you talk about the glory days, You have to take everything into account. Um, Today, I believe, is just selfishness. I was talking to one of my homies today, and for some reason, when a black man talks about wanting to share the finances, we get the whole my dad didn't do this, my granddad didn't do this. But you have black woman and a black man who are the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to finances, arguing about finance. To me, I feel like if both of you all are making money, it would be beneficial for the collective for you all to try to share as much as possible in order to take you all further. But what I see is a lot of people don't really plan for the relationship. They prepare for if the relationship fails.
Mm.
Um, and so I think that's a problem. You shouldn't be preparing for the relationship to fail if you're working for the relationship to succeed. And so it seems to be like your foot's half in, your foot's half out. And so if your foot's half in, your foot's half out, how are you walking together at the same time? It's just this weird thing where I see a lot of us women specifically prepare for the relationship to fail instead of working for the relationship to succeed. And I think that's the basis of the whole thing.
Absolutely. Let me go to the comments real quick, Jay Wolf. I come to you. Jay said it might be the tequila talking, but she don't see anything wrong with sharing bills. Mimi agrees bills can be split. Devin said grandma let them have outside kids too while he paid for everything. Fifi said men can't drink wine without being gay to social media. According to a lot of things on social media, men can't do. Let's the God honest truth. Patrice, I pay the utilities. He pays the mortgage and any other household needs. But they're just having communication. Talk about what's best for you and your relationship. Quinn, last comment I'm gonna read. One of my granddaddies paid all the bills, but for every child he was with my grandma, he also has with another woman. I'll take splitting the bills for 500. Jay Ward, what you got?
So one thing I do want to do is I want to agree with what Rob is saying about being 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but I also want to kind of elaborate on that, and that's one thing that I had is that I think as a culture over the last 40-ish years, 45 years, men traditionally, especially our men, we've been kind of rocky on staying in the home and being able to be that provider. So I think that the women are, they want that safety blanket of, hey, if this doesn't work out, I'm not going to lose everything. Or if he happens to be in between jobs, I'm still going to be good. So I think, it's just that fear of, being financially restricted or held hostage because the man isn't doing this and this and this. So I think that just to, if I had to try to understand why a woman feels this way and they want a man to provide, is because, their dads may have been that man that didn't provide. So it's like, I'm definitely, this is a deal breaker for me. This is something that I'm not going to stand for because my dad didn't do this, or my mama's husband didn't do this. So this is something that I'm absolutely not going to stand for. Also, our women in our culture are so well educated. And so they don't want to get with someone like a Jody from Baby Boy and he's driving her car while she's at work. Or, he's out chasing women while she's working hard, breaking her back. So I think they're just trying to avoid that. But just like our women are educated, so are we. And it's a lot of us, every one of us on this podcast, we're well educated. So we just want to know, that you aren't going to take us for what we have, and then we aren't going to take you for what you have. But my question would be this, and this is kind of hitting on what T was saying. If I'm paying all the bills, but you educated and got a good job, where is your money going? Like, what are you doing with it? Like, that's always been my question. If I'm paying all the bills, I'm taking care of home and all of that, what are you doing with your money? Like, if I can see if you bought all the groceries, you bought all the clothes and you maintain the house, but it's just like from what I'm seeing, unless I'm misunderstanding it, they aren't doing anything with their money unless I guess they're just letting it stack up. So that would be my question. Like, what are you doing with all this money that you're saving from your check? You might have a whole nother man that you're taking care of, and I don't know because I'm paying all the bills, breaking my back, and all your money going into an account. So if I was to do that, I would definitely want access to your account. to see where your money going. If I'm paying all the bills, I need to see where every dime you got going because I'm paying all the bills. So where's your money going?
So before I go to you, real quick, God, dog, I see you, Grandma. Hey, I love you too.
Oh, Swift, real quick. Let me say this real quick. And I saw this quote on Facebook, and it said the only men that are complaining about paying bills are the men that can't afford it. And I think that is false and a myth and rubbish.
Absolutely. So this comment,
Fact.
trust me, I want you to bring this in too, Crow. A man needs to be as financially sound as possible, but so should the woman before they come together. So we talked about this in the group chat about men maybe staying at home to get his finances straight, making that smart financial decision before he gets out on his own. And you see other cultures do it. But in the black community, it's not particularly received well. Like men staying with their family, staying with their parents until they feel they are financially well enough off to get out on their own. So I want you to kind of come on there. Why is that not received well? I want you to put that in your comments too. Why is that not a good look for black men?
All right. First off, I'm gonna address what's wrong with men wanting financial security, and y'all gonna kind of be mad at me on this one, fellas, on the show. Black men still make more than black women um, in the career field. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
But the gap is not big, women. So don't cheer too fast. If you break it down, it's and I'm looking at some stats from 2017. A black female with a bachelor's degree will make $897 a week, and a black male with a bachelor's degree will make $998 a week. But that's before taxes. So, while women are quoting that they want a man with a bag, it's basically a $50 gap, $60 gap a week difference. So then to dive into why a man is staying at home, um, it's frowned upon for one, women, like you say, women look for stability. They kind of look for a sense of security. And I guess they feel a man is not being a man if he's staying at home. Now, if he's being open with his finances, I guess, and what he's trying to do, which is communicate, which is we express that all the time, but then that's him being vulnerable. And the question is, do you be vulnerable with every female that come around, letting them know your game plan? So that's a whole nother level right there. Um, so do you go deep into explaining to this young lady why you're staying at home with your parents or why you have roommates, you know, vice versa, It's okay for women to stay at home with their parents. It's okay for them to have roommates. Because men, we were like we adjust to that. We adapt. That's the men thing. We adapt. And women always say, a man don't care about me. Think about them men who had their own, and you was at home with your mama, or you had a roommate or two. You know what I'm saying? And this man had his own place. This man was sacrificing in a way. So it kind of goes deeper than that. So it just all depends on the woman, all depends on the man if he's going to communicate what his plan is and if those are his true goals. Now, if he's been at that house for more than 10, 15 years and it probably shouldn't even be that goddamn long unless he getting his doctorate with some specialists on top of it. Um, but if he had his parents' house probably longer than 7 years, man, it's something wrong with no game plan.
Yeah,
But if the man has a game plan, women look into that, see what his plan is, and give him a chance.
absolutely. Go to the comments real quick. Sometimes men are offended by the women stepping up and trying to help. You disrespect and use, I'm the man of the house, but you're not acting like the man of the house. Ooh.
Mm.
Trina said, what about a joint account that's used to pay the bills and separate accounts for stacking money? I don't think any of us have an issue with that.
Nope.
I don't think any
See,
of us have an issue with that. Dean said he got home security, financial security, and at the gate, he asked, what else y'all need? Devin said, if I'm
Dean
paying
say
out,
paying for everybody, man. Big
right?
money team.
Devin said, if I'm paying all the bills, I need my PS5. Hey, I feel that too.
Absolutely.
Fifi, if a man tells me he's staying with his parents short term while he gets his finance together, I would understand. But I would also want to know what his long term goal is, and his plan is to better his situation. It shouldn't be an issue for a man just like a woman.
That's all I said is
Yeah.
communication, expressing why are you at home or why are you where you at that moment in time. And it's up for that person
Read,
to accept that
read,
situation.
read Tier One comment.
Yeah, that was going to my next. That's my last one.
Okay.
If he's staying home to save, it's all good. But he drives a Benz and buying Jordan and making it rain at the club is his priority. Not
You
sticking.
have no reason to look his way then, ma'am. You already know he got misguided out of priority. So if you can map him into
Look,
your circle,
y'all
Well,
that's
gonna
on
get out
you.
the J, bro. I'm tired of all this Jordan slander, man. Real time. I'm tired of it.
So the
Swift, can
women,
you read my comment? I asked the question. I just want to women, if you can give a yes or no on this. So if the shoes were on the other feet, and this man cooked, clean, took care of the kids, took care of the house, and all of that, would you be comfortable paying the bills because you guys have kind of switched roles because he is maintaining the house?
Boy,
So,
you
ladies,
know,
if you can comment on that in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm doing a little survey there. So,
okay, so Ken, that's a good point. It's about privacy and comfort. You can't be freak nasty with mom in the next room. You can get a hotel. I mean, so basically the point is this is temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can have sex and do like go on trips and do everything else, but he's working on his financial security. I think that's the gist of it. Let him work on himself and get his finances together. And if you're patient enough to stay with him, then that's on you. Or you can go your separate ways as long as the communication is in place. Then that's y'all decision. CJB, do you have
yeah.
anything you want to say on this topic before we wrap it up? Oh, T, I thought you would.
Here. I ain't went
Huh?
yet. What you mean? We got to talk.
Boy,
Oh,
hey, them roughers don't know how to act, man. I tell you.
go ahead, T.
Listen. Well, I'm gonna start out with it's not just a man problem or a woman problem. It's a black family problem. We kick our kids out too early into the world, and other cultures let their kids stay at home, save up money for down payments on houses and all type of stuff. We kick our kids out at 18, tell them to get it how they live. We need to stop that, man. We really need to help our kids develop financially before we put them out in the world. So when people look at you crazy for looking at for like being at home with your parents, that's really not a good thing, because at the same time, other races do not get that same scrutiny. So we can't be hard on ourselves on that way. Now, as far as men wanting financial security, anytime a man have any type of anyway, because men can't have wants and questions and needs. So hey, if anybody have any rebuttals in the comments, I'm game for it tonight. I'm ready with the chopper.
I say what I want and what I need. I don't know what the hell wrong with y'all, but I
I
say what the
guess
hell
y'all
I
couldn't
want.
hear me. Dang.
Now we heard
Hey,
you.
We
another
heard.
thing is, I saw in the comments where I saw a young lady talk about women going to work and then having to come home and take care of the kids and cook and stuff like that. Black men are the most involved fathers of any race out there, so we're doing it all. Like, we realize that those days of us just going to work and coming home are over. So
Mhm.
we are going to work. We're coming home. I know for me, I'm coming home snatching the kids. I'm helping, with the dishes. I'm doing this. I'm doing the laundry. Like, we're involved, man. So that whole narrative of trying to use that as the denial, that's gone for us because we're involved. All these brothers, they got their kids, they home cleaning, they folding sheets, doing all kinds of stuff. And so just like the women are working and coming home and doing stuff at home, we're doing the same thing. And so that's not an argument to this whole thing.
All right, a few more comments and I'm gonna wrap it up. Patricia said we don't allow our children to blossom. It's counterproductive for our entire race. Hinting on, I think Jay Ward and T and Crow was saying, and that's absolutely true. Alicia, T not lying. I have several white coworkers who grown kids live with them, and they not rushing them to get out. Miss Marie, Lord, please send me a man with some standards. Okay, you asking, it shall come. I think that's it. Hold on, Kenyatta said what areas are they located? What where areas are who located? Be specific with that. Any final comments before we wrap this up?
Man, just communicate about your finances. That's it. If you feel like they're worth that time, worth that effort, worth that communication, communicate about your finances. It's as simple as that. And educate
Even
yourself. And educate
even if
yourself.
uh, even if your man does handle all the financial responsibilities, it is okay to offer. It is okay to offer, or just
And
surprise them with something. You know, pay the water bill, light bill, some small. You know, grocery. Something. Just do something,
and
please.
the final comment on this one, I see women saying find a man with stand. They're looking for a man with standards. They're looking for a good man that's gonna take care of the house, be in a kid's life, and all of that. And I've been saying this since day one. Find you a man of alpha beta, and all your wishes will come true. That's all I'm
I
gonna
was
say.
about to say, Swift. They asked me where the good men at Jackson, Mississippi, the Alpha Beta chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Exactly, the Alpha Beta fraternity incorporated. That is the
Facts.
way you need to go. Moving on to the next topic. I'm glad to have CJB here with us. Introduce yourself, brother.
So, folks, man, I'm sorry I'm late. CJB here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been moving and shit for about a week. So, man, T, I see you studying on everybody, man. Got your flat screen back here. Killing it, man. Go hook me up, bro. Hook my deck up, bro. Pimp me
Don't
out.
don't don't make me bust you out with them white cabinets in the back. I see you now. Don't
Hey,
make me
man,
do
looking at that crispy white in the back.
it. Don't make me do it. I see you now.
They
I
fresh,
see you.
brand new,
Red, smell
smelling
like
like
it's
fresh
and
wood.
around it.
Listen, the men of Alpha Beta out here getting married and buying homes. Y'all better get y'all one. I'm trying to tell you. But moving on to the next topic. So, a comment was made in the comments last week about talking about how we deal with a toxic work environment. I think it's important that we first define what is a toxic work environment and then get into how we deal with it. So you drive to work and you just sit in the parking lot and just look at the sky for like 20 minutes before you go in because you know it's about to be some BS. You got those co-workers that's always in your business that are trying to get you in trouble. You got a manager that put everything on you and you actually have more experience or more knowledge about the job than your manager, but he makes all the decisions and they feel threatened by you. So they try to get you removed as well. They ask you to do stuff that's outside of your job responsibility that you're not getting paid for. That's all around toxic. It's stressful. You have to take time away some time and get your life together because you're like, why am I still working this job? But you can't quit because you got to pay bills. Just all around toxic. So I want my brothers tonight. I want you to talk about if you've ever been in a toxic work environment and how you dealt with it. What were your strategies to being, going home and decompressing or coming back the next day? Like, what did you do to deal with a toxic work environment? CJB, I know you was in a toxic work environment, so I'm definitely gonna start with you.
Man,
So talk
I
to me.
got I was employed with a government for about 8 years, and it was cool for 3 years, but that last five, man, it was terrible. I'm talking about administration changes. We had pastors running wild, bishops running wild in the city council office. It just scandals, all that shit trickled down, bro. And it was terrible, dog. I ain't gonna even lie. And then on top of that, you wasn't making enough money. You know what I'm saying? I had to work two jobs, experience a furlough. That was tough, man. I think how I got through that, no lie, was Crown Royal, Jackson State football in the gym. That's how I got through that. If it wasn't for those three, oh, and prayer. If it wasn't for those four things, man, well, I don't know where I'd be right now. But that experience was rough. It's like you'll be surprised, man, how old black people are stuck in their way of doing things. They're stubborn. They feel like everything got to go their way. It's draining on a young mind that can do stuff different. So that shit was rough. Like I was so fortunate to get up out of that situation. It took a while because I was trying to leave out of state. So it was like, when you're trying to interview out of state, you got to go through, you face competition in state, you face competition in the company. You got to lie and say you live in the area when you don't. Then you got to hop on the road and interview the next day if you have to. It was just a lot of, it was a grind, man. So it's like, you got to find three things you like to get out of that situation. I'm telling y'all, for me, it was Crown Royal, Jackson State football, working out, and prayer. That Crown Black specifically, like the Jackson State crew in the corner taking shots every weekend. That was me. That's what I had to look forward to at the end of a work week.
Got you. So Crown Royal, prayer, and Jackson State football and working out. Rob, I saw you shaking your head too. Tell me about
Man,
your work environment, how you dealt with it.
so as everybody knows, I'm a black officer in the military, black male officer, and so my entire profession is a toxic work environment for a black man in the military as an officer, a black person, period, black women and black men. So I've dealt with, when I was going through officer candidate school, rigorous course to get through to become an officer. My commander told me and another black guy that because our hats would turn backwards, we would never get anybody to follow us. I actually got into a physical altercation with one of my commanders. This past deployment in Afghanistan, my boss was basically racially profiling me, and if it wasn't so, the first thing is you have to be knowledgeable and good at your job. That's the first thing. You have to have your ducks in a row, and most black people that are in corporate America or in the government or whatever job they're working in, you have to be 10 times better, just to get, even neck and neck with somebody of another race when you're doing that. So I have to make sure I'm a ducks in a row. I have to make sure that I'm squared away. I have to make sure that I know my stuff. I have to make sure that I'm doing what's supposed to.
Hold on, Rob, because they trying you in the comments. Did you win the fight? You said using a physical altercation. Did you win the fight?
I did. I did. Because of my demeanor, and because I try to stay professional. A lot of people of higher ranks try me, and I have an issue with people trying me as a man, not because they're higher ranked than me, but you have to have a certain level of respect when you're dealing with me in the work environment. And so if I feel like that respect is being messed with, we have a discussion. I pull them to the side. We have a discussion. If it keeps going, then it gets elevated. So what I did while I was in Afghanistan, the only thing that kept me sane was prayer, the gym, FaceTime calls with my family, and literally just having the mental stamina to be able to get through things, because I've just got a callus on my brain where I can kind of get through things and not have it get to me. But if I didn't have that, my career probably would have been over 10 years ago, because the stuff I've had to deal with in the military as an officer has just been, astronomical. The boss's rank doesn't mean that you know more. It just means you got higher rank. And so usually when you have a person of higher rank that is white trying to listen to a person of lower rank that is black, they tend to try to test my knowledge, which most people know, most black people know, when someone's testing your knowledge of something that you're knowledgeable with, it's a race thing that's involved with it, because they're trying to say you're stupid. And so when someone is testing your knowledge and they're testing your, physical abilities, mental abilities, intellectual abilities, that gets to me. And so I make sure that I'm not the token black guy. So it's like this thing you have to walk, making sure that you're in a black person in a white space, making sure you're not the token black guy, then making sure you're not the angry black guy, but making sure you're the knowledgeable black guy, and then making sure you're just a guy. So you can never just be a worker and just, go about your day. You have to be better. You have to contain yourself. You have to also be able to maneuver and do your job. And you also have to make sure nobody's testing you and they're not disrespecting you. So it's a lot to deal with. And so, like I said, my family is my safe haven. If you don't have a strong home environment to go to as a black man, you will lose your mind, because this world and what you have to do to make money is literally mentally and physically draining to you when you have to deal with all this crap and you're not getting paid enough. And so what got me through, because I had to stop drinking because I was drinking too much back in 2009. So what got me through was my family, a lot of prayer, listening to some sermons from my pastor, working out, going to the gym. I went to the gym twice a day when I was in Afghanistan, and I've been working out since I've been home, trying to get some of that stress off me. But that's the best thing you do. Trying to doing too much alcohol for me was going to ruin my career because I was just that stressed. But working out has helped significantly. Making sure I'm eating right, making sure I'm getting a lot of sleep, making sure I'm talking to my family, making sure I'm praying a lot and listening to some encouraging words from either, a pastor on YouTube or a pastor from Facebook, or when my mom was alive, she just send me messages to keep me, lifted up and stuff like that because it's tough, man. But yeah, that's how I got through it and still getting through it.
Devin made a good comment. If your job offers therapy, take it. There's no shame in talking to someone. Absolutely. And I also want to say, if you have strategies that have worked for you in the past, even with a toxic work environment, please share those in the comments. This is for everybody. Like, we're not doing it just for us, just to talk, but put those strategies in the comments, whether it be a YouTube video like someone else posted or just things that you've done, because we all go through things at work. We need that help sometimes, even if we don't want to ask for it. Who else want to share?
I'll jump in.
I'll
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, well,
I've been fortunate enough to have really good jobs since I've been out of school. I did have one where I worked at a TV station that I actually quit because they was just trying me, and it took all I had to not whoop the guy. My dad was like, "You didn't whoop him?" I'm like, "I didn't whoop him. I wanted to, but I didn't." Um, I think one of the main things that you're forced into, especially when you're in corporate America or some sort of business structure, like like Corey and Crowley, and even I know T kind of works in that field as well. But do you complain or voice your opinion and potentially hinder growth, meaning they're never going to promote you because you're too vocal, or do you tough it out and just reap the benefits of it later? And that's such a hard situation to be in, to where you're like, should I just swallow my tongue and just take this because I know at the end, I'm gonna benefit from this, or do I just stand on my morals and say, hey, I don't go for this? And that's such a taxing battle to put yourself through, and you just have to ask yourself, are the financial benefits worth it? And I've kind of gotten, especially during this pandemic, I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, I know for a fact this job is going to go on, whether I'm here or not, whether I give it my all or not, this job is going to go on. They will find somebody else to do this job, so I'm not about to lose my life or my sanity for this job. um, Also, when I was on a job to where I was struggling, well, not necessarily struggling, but it was getting the best of me. It was affecting my mental health, and that right there, I just could not take. And I was drinking a lot, like Rob said. I had gained some weight, and I was working out, but I'm like, why am I not losing no weight? But I'm like, I'm drinking every day, and not a beer. I'm like cocktailing, so I had
Hard
to get
liquor.
that under. Yeah, yeah, I had to get that under control. I was on the gin or something, really hard every night. So I just had to make sure that I wasn't doing that. But I think last 2 points. One thing that you can do to not have to deal with a toxic situation at work, in the words of Brother Cook, shout out to the original Cook boys, is make sure you have your credentials. If you have the paperwork and you have the qualifications, then you don't have to take mess on the job or be in a toxic situation, because you can just chunk them the deuces and move on to the next job, because people will be looking for you. Also, it's not necessarily toxic, but I guess it could be. I hate mess on a job, but I just hate mess in general. But I hate to be in somebody mess and they messing around, or they show favoritism. I hate that type of stuff. So the way I quell that is, I kind of don't make friends at work. I do have some coworkers that I would consider a friend, but mostly I don't. You don't need to know nothing about my personal life. You don't need to know where I live at, what I do for fun. None of that. Let's just keep this on a certain level. Also, I work with people from other races, and I'm not like a fake black. I'm like real black. I'm from the hood black, so I have to give that to people in small amounts, because they cannot take that full on. They may not be able to understand that. Yes, I'm listening to Chameleon now on.
Jay Ward.
God,
God,
Jay,
Oh,
please.
he
Hey,
Not my
he
internet.
was
Like
heating
three
up too. He
episodes.
was heating up
Jay,
Not my
too.
Jay,
internet. Am I back? Am I
yeah,
back?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
bet.
you
yeah.
back, you
All
back.
right. So, I do listen to certain music and all of that on my way to work, and I don't want to be judged for that. So I just give myself to people in small amounts, and I try not to, open up myself too much to people at work. So, that's one of my coping mechanisms, is to not be that that open and not that transparent at work.
All right, let me go to the comments real quick before you go, Crow. First, I want to say thank you to Danny for serving his country because I know as a serviceman, you probably catching hell, especially from a certain demographic of citizens. So I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. Tijuana said meditation has helped keep me in a good headspace for the last 25 years. Devin, depression can come with so much work-related stress. Absolutely. Alicia, she takes time off and say F this and stay at home. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Take your time. Patricia, document all adverse interactions. Absolutely. Document
Put it on paper.
everything. Put it on paper. Time stamp it. All
Yep.
of that. Please do so. I think a lot of people agree with Jay Ward as far as not being friends with people at work, and just don't put people in your business. Do my job, go home, and don't call me after 5 p.m. regarding work, and don't put me in group chats, nothing. Absolutely. Go ahead, Crow.
All right. Toxic work environment. So in my teenage years, Crowley handled toxic work environments by putting his hands on the boss. No, seriously.
I know you for real.
I can really one incident. And I actually was coming from church, kind of running late, and Buddy was literally talking down on me. You know what I'm saying? Opposite race, and I just wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? And so I literally assaulted dude. I literally could have busted his head. His head went, it was a metal door, everything, you know. And I left. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that's how teenage Crowley handled toxic work environments. 20-year-old Crowley cussed his boss out, real live in front of vendors, because once again, no coping mechanisms. That was for teenager and 20-year-old Crowley. Um, we progress, we mature, we learn, and so I evolved into 30-year-old Crowley. In my 30s now, I learned not to even give toxic work environments that energy, um, because you have to learn how to box things up when it comes to your life. Because if it carry over, if it transfers over, that toxic work environment can affect your home life, or it can affect your life with your friends, or it can affect other things. So you have to be, how can I put this, mindful of where you're at when you're entering your workplace and where you're at when you're leaving your workplace. I do certain things before I go into my workplace. I do certain things after I leave my workplace, because I'm mindful of what goes on in between that space. Because if I carry it over, then I could cause damage in other areas if it was a stressful day, or my boss is toxic, or if my coworkers are creating a toxic environment. So now I truly stress mindfulness, just being in the place and knowing where you're at that moment. So that's how I deal with toxic work environments. Honestly, I'm not in one right now, and I'm very grateful to say that. But I have been to whereas I've had to go to the hospital because of stress. But it was not, how can I put this? I didn't see the signs. Um, it manifested in me kind of passing out. Well, not kind of, I passed out. So you have to pay attention to your body, as you guys said. You have to pay attention to your mind and know when you're kind of hitting those limits. Um, and not allow anybody to just mentally or emotionally get in your space. And like you guys said, document, document, document. Cover your ass, cover your ass, cover your ass. For a more simple way to put it, for people who don't understand, who may not have caught on to it.
Got you. T, you want to share how you deal have if you ever been in the toxic? No.
No, no, not really, cause I'm in a toxic environment right now,
Okay, so we
and
gonna
I don't know who's watching Brothers Mint too. You know what
good
I'm
call.
saying?
Okay, so
Nah,
we gonna skip it then. We gonna
nah,
leave that
nah,
alone.
nah. I'm just nah. I got it, bro. It's all good. I mean, as far as just you know, it's hard being black man in corporate America because you never want to be the angry black man. So you gotta kind of toe the line, which sucks because you know you playing a role at work and then you leave work and you actually get to be your real self, and that's just not all the way there. Now, me at work, I'm always T. Everybody call me T. I'm myself, but I also have to, you know, keep it professional, toe the line. But as far as just toxic, I honestly dealing with that right now, bro, because I I feel like I support a multi-million-dollar company. I'm underpaid, but I'm the most valuable person in the whole company. And if you talk to anybody at the company, they will tell you that I am the most important person in the company. Not the CEO, not my boss, not any other managers, me. Because I keep the whole thing running. As far as IT, I run the whole company. And so I just know that I'm underpaid, so that would make it toxic. You know, now how do you deal with the toxicity? Do you have a plan? Are you working your move? Why are you getting the experience while you're at this job? Are you preparing for the future? Are you using this opportunity to propel yourself into the future? And so that's how I actually deal with it because I know that I have a long-term plan and a long-term goal. Now another way to deal with a toxic environment is when you get home and you don't have any toxic environment in your home with your woman. So
Yeah,
when people say be that man peace, they really mean it because black men in America, we are trying to live. Number one, we're trying to make it home safe without, you know, getting killed. Then, you know, we're playing a role at work. We're trying to stay non-confrontational. We don't want to be the angry black man. So when we get home, we're just looking for a little bit of peace. And Crowley say, juggle them balls.
Hey, let me address something. I appreciate that. Mimi, I see, and that is true. Right now, we still have a lot of people working from home. And I did, you know, we are talking about home being a sanctuary. And now, what once was your sanctuary at your home is now your workplace. And now you're needing a place to escape from your workplace. But then you're trying to figure out where to escape because let's COVID still exists, or you know. So first thing first, you need to maybe step out if it's not a rainy day. I know fall is kicking in. I know my family came down to visit from Milwaukee to Midwest, and they told me it was like hitting the 50s there. So um, find maybe some outdoor activities every day once you log out, whether it's exercising, whether it's getting in your car and just going to take a ride in your vehicle, but just changing that scenery for an hour or two, just getting out. And I know we're saying the home's supposed to be the sanctuary, but also they can, you know, kind of give us that cabin fever, as we like to call it. Maybe exercising, but definitely getting outside, or also turning whatever room you're working from into a different space than what your home looked like. And that may cause you to, you know, invest a small little bit of money, but transform whatever room you're zooming from into something different. Um, to where when you step out, it doesn't feel like you're uh, you know, leaving in your home. So, you know, get creative in that room. If you work as a teacher, they sell chalkboard paint. Paint one wall, you know, whatever wall you zoom from in the background, turn it into a classroom, make it feel like a classroom as best as you can. If you were maybe I don't know, but just try your best to transform and do what you can. Music is a good escape. Writing is a good escape. And if you find yourself really needing it, step out, hey, call a therapist. I'm always a big up for reaching out for professional help. I'm gonna get off
Absolutely.
that horse now.
All right. So, any final comments before we go to the next to last topic? No. Okay, we're gonna keep this pushing. This topic might get heavy. We're gonna dive into it though because we have to. The verdict came out from AG Attorney General Daniel Cameron regarding the Breonna Taylor case, right? And basically, they did not charge the officers with the killing of Breonna Taylor. They charged one officer for actually missing the apartment and shooting into the neighbor's apartment instead of the killing of Breonna Taylor. They claim it's justified because they say they did knock, and they say that the boyfriend shot first, so it was self defense. A lot of people put AG in a. I can only think about the last coming years, but a lot of people are saying that justice was not served in this case, and I'm gonna be honest. I disagree. I think justice was served because the justice system was not designed for African Americans, not for black men, not for black women. It was designed to protect a certain demographic of this country, and it is empowered by those that make the decisions to make sure that it does protect those of this country. So when I heard the verdict, I was not surprised at all. When I heard that they were only being well, I'm not. Let me take it back. I was surprised that they charged any of them with something. But I was not surprised that they were not charged or convicted for the killing of Breonna Taylor. But I want to get y'all opinion on this. When y'all heard the verdict and you see weren't the neighbors white though? Yes, they were white, but the upstairs neighbors were black, but they did not get charged for shooting in the upstairs neighbor's apartment. But I want to get y'all opinion on this. Like, what were your feelings when you saw that the AG made the decision, not made the decision, but presented the evidence in a way to make sure they didn't get charged. That's the way I see it, and that they did not get charged for the killing of Breonna Taylor whatsoever. Like they walked scot free. What do we have to do in this country to protect black women? Like black people, period, but black women in particular, because we see that they are not protected at all. They are doubly disadvantaged. They're women and they're black, so they got to deal with so much more than what we really see. So what were y'all feelings about this case, and how can we? What's our next steps as a people?
Well, one, in the wake of Breonna Taylor's murder, 'cause let's call it what it is, a
Mm-hmm.
murder. Um, it have been a lot of judicial changes across the country, so we can say that that's one positive out of everything. Two, how did I feel about it? Watch, repeat, cycle, in and out, same old. Like I didn't expect anything less. Like somebody said, once the settlement came, but I hate that when people say that like they bring up the settlement because the settlement did not have anything with the criminal case.
Right.
So let's just separate the two. Now does it look kind of funny? Okay, cool, but we can't really blame the family for taking the settlement. You know what I'm saying? It's taking the money. Now, as far as the officers, I'm gonna go against all the bros here and a lot of black people. I do feel like that they probably shouldn't have charged the other officers. You know, now the main officer, the leader of the operation, the person that made the critical mistakes, they should have been charged. So I can see how the other officers got off, but not charging that main officer for killing that woman in her bed, that is unacceptable, dog. That is unacceptable. And then they don't even they don't charge for the murder. They charge, like you said, they charge for shooting or endangering other people's
Safety.
houses. Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, bro. How you charge for that and not for the murder? Like, so we never get justice. This is nothing new to me. Like I said a lot of episodes ago, and I hope this never come back to bite me. But until somebody goes to these people's house in the middle of the night nothing's gonna change. And that's where I'm at with it. So
And
until, and I'm not talking about burning down the police office, I'm not talking about the courthouse, I'm not talking about none of that. Until somebody goes to these people's house in the middle of the night, nothing's gonna change.
and Miss Marie said, "Well, we see his wife, right? I think she's pointing out the fact that she's white, but I also saw that she may be the daughter of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell."
She's
And
not.
this, you said, what did it say, Rob?
She's not.
She's not. But it was
No,
pointing out.
but the DA had a scholarship, a Mitch McConnell scholarship to go to school,
Mm-hmm.
and he was Mitch McConnell's
Oh,
protege.
yeah.
So it's basically Mitch McConnell's black arm
Mm-hmm.
into the black community. That's basically a white arm
Okay.
on a
So,
black body, and so he's very involved in his life and his profession.
okay.
And so that's why. But no, that's not his granddaughter. I saw that a lot.
Okay.
Mitch McConnell's wife is Asian, Chinese, or something like that.
Hmm.
And so he only has like two or three granddaughters. I actually went to go look it up because I was trying to figure out is this really what's going on? But no, it wasn't. But I mean, it still looks crooked because Mitch McConnell has a lot of pull in his job, and you know who Mitch McConnell's, who he works for. So you can tell that this was something that was being controlled at a level higher than the state level. You could tell. And as you see this case come out more and more, you see more evidence being revealed. You're going to see that the DA only presented, he could have charged him himself. He didn't even have to present the evidence to the grand jury. He could have literally charged them himself. So what he did
That
was
part.
use the grand jury. He used the grand jury as a cop out for him not charging them when he could have just charged them himself. And so they never meant to charge these guys. They never meant to present enough evidence to the grand jury to charge these guys. It was they tried to bribe the ex-boyfriend who they were actually looking for to implicate Breonna Taylor in her own killing, and he didn't go for it, which was in essence protecting black women because he had no allegiance to her, but she had been killed at that point. They tried to bribe him to implicate her in her own killing. They arrested the boyfriend who, when the 911 call was released, when he called 911, he didn't know who broke into his house. He didn't say the police broke into his house. He literally said someone just busted through our door. I started shooting, and then my girlfriend's been shot. That's what he says on the 911 call. So he didn't know it was the cop. And so everyone is trying to blame him for her killing, but anyone that's a Second Amendment person in this country, which is mostly white America, they talk about the government getting arms against to protect themselves against the government, which is the police. But in this instance, he did exactly what they, advocate for, and they're still blaming the victim for their own death. So when you peel all these layers of the onion back, you just realize it's not the Second Amendment that's the issue. It's not the crime that's the issue. It's just a black person was killed by the police, and we're going to always be the victim, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of what we did, what we didn't do. We're always going to be the perpetual victim, and it's victim blaming, regardless of what the issue is. So we have to get that in our heads first. Regardless of what happens with us, there is no perfect black victim. There will never be a perfect black victim.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the day, she should still be alive. They murdered her, and the DA covered it up. Once you get those facts out of the way, you realize it was set up from the jump. And so we have to do, like Swift said, the system's set up to do exactly what it's doing, not protect us and protect white people and the government. That's what the system's set up to do. It's set up to do that. So the system in itself worked perfectly. What we have to do is, I was watching Inside the NBA last night. There was a lot of BS on there between Shaq and Charles Barkley. But what Ernie said was you have to rewrite the book. He said you don't have to defund the police. If the police were going by what they were being taught, then you have to rewrite the book. You have to rewrite the whole thing. You have to change the procedures. You have to update the laws. I see the no-knock law has been enacted in Kentucky, which needs to be nationwide. You have to literally change each and every one of the laws. And so these guys are charged based on the law. and not based on whatever evidence they can or cannot show to a grand jury, because we're going to lose either way. It was disheartening, but it wasn't surprising.
Gotcha. And I'm gonna disagree with one point. I do think that we should defund the police, but I get into that in another time. Who else want to chime in?
Let me jump in, Swoop. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
I'm gonna be brief, because it's like it's kind of emotionally draining, so I don't have much to say. For one, it's like if you're in your own house and somebody kicks in your door, your instant reaction is to protect yourself and your family. That's pretty much, what her boyfriend did. And
Period.
also, I feel like as far as these settlements are concerned, I feel like we're not going to see a more rapid change until the proceeds for these lawsuits start coming out of the police pension fund. It shouldn't be funded by, it shouldn't be funded out of your general fund or your tort fund from your taxpayers. It should come out of the police retirement fund. Like it just people don't understand. White people don't understand nothing but money. So when their money's starting to shrivel, then you're going to see some action. But and I feel like the thing about defund police, it's like it's not saying that we shouldn't have any police officers. It's saying that police officers shouldn't be walking around with military grade weapons. That money can be spent in other areas of the community. So that's what defund police mean. Like you shouldn't have bullet armored vehicles and the type of ammo they have and the type of weapons they have and pretty much all this particular gear and everything. That's what defund police mean, because I know firsthand from working in the city government, like the police budget is probably one of the bigger budgets in any major city. Like police budgets are bigger than your education budget, is bigger than your community budget, is bigger than your community assistance budget, it's bigger than your parks and rec budget. So that's what defund the police mean. It don't mean just wipe out police. It means take some of their money that they're using to buy bullshit. Like it was like in Madison, Mississippi, they have a armored vehicle, and they have
For
two
what?
of them. Why cops in a bedroom community like Madison, Mississippi have those type of vehicles? That's what defund the police mean. And it's just like Daniel Cameron is what Rob described as the token black guy. And some people don't have a problem being a token black guy. They get them a white wife, they get them white friends, they go to a white school, and they good. I can give a fuck about, their community. Some people can sell their soul like that. You look at Daniel Cameron. Daniel Cameron represents the token black guy. His fade is at the back of his head. You can tell he never saw a black barber in his life.
Nigga lying way back here.
He's lying way back there. He's very articulate, so I don't want to say that that's not a black trait. He's very articulate. He's very smart, but it's a lot of black people, black men and women that go down that path to get in white spaces. That's something that that's been like the downfall of our community for a long time. Like take it back to the Panthers. Fred Taylor lost his life because his security guard was flipped by white cops. But that's pretty much another story. But it's disappointing, man. Like it wasn't a surprise that they were gonna get off. Like it's pretty much like it don't matter at this point. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't really angry about it because I already know what the outcome is going to be. It's just I'm kind of not sensitive to it anymore, and it's unfortunate, but it's just a sad situation. Like I guarantee you, her family would turn that $12 million back if she was alive.
Absolutely. And I want to touch on another thing you said, because I was going to talk about it, but defunding the police and using that money towards other areas in the city budget. If you use that for programming to educate our students, put that in education, you will see crime go down. If you put this money in other areas, you see it in suburban America all the time. You don't see those large police budgets, but you see great roads, you see great parks, educational programming for these kids. Like they are taking care of the citizens of that area. But in inner city area in America, the police budgets are 5, 6 times the regular other areas. That's stupid. That's so stupid to me. But another thing that Fifi said, and I think everybody else agreed, if you bust into my apartment or my home, I am pulling the AR out the closet and I am emptying the whole clip. I don't care who you are. Go ahead, Jay Ward.
Yep.
Um, One thing Rob
Damn
said
right.
is that the system is set up to protect white people. I just want to add to that and compliant Negroes. So the Negroes who fit their mold, that's who is meant to fit. Your Charles Barkley's and people like that. So the system is designed for them. I got a bunch of notes. I'm not gonna go into all of them because this topic is so heavy, and I can go on and on and on about this. Where's the NRA? Whenever something is said about guns, the NRA is the first people to talk about it's our right to do this and this and this. Haven't heard anything from them. Where are all the self-defense people? Where they
Yep.
at? Where are these people in this? So what you're really saying is it's not about all lives mattering. It's not about self-defense. It's about we can't do it, but y'all can. That's the bottom line. What I can say is that one thing that we can do moving forward, local elections. You have to know who you're voting for. Don't just vote for someone just because they're black, because like they say, all skin folk ain't kin folk. So stop just voting for these people just because they are black. Get them out of there. It's so many things that we can do in this upcoming election because there's so many local offices that are up in this election. So we need to take those. Also, like somebody hit on that no knock stuff, it's got to go. I actually talked to my friend that's a lawyer, and she was just telling me that that grand jury stuff, just like Rob was saying, that's some bull. That's a setup from the
Yeah,
dope.
it's BS,
Because
man.
if you get a grand jury set up, you basically taking the honest off of you and putting it on these other people when you could have charged them yourself. But if you charge them yourself, you're looking at alienating your own constituents, and you just don't want to do that. Also, let's be mindful. And once I found this out, it really upset me. But these officers also were in plain clothes. So it's just like being pulled over by an officer in an unmarked vehicle. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're the police or not. So you can tell me anything. And then by the time I realize that you aren't the police, I'm dead. But,
Yep.
in this situation, they were dead. And she was dead and it was too late. Also, they didn't have on body cameras. It's just so many rules that were violated. I think the person who issued the warrant should be locked up. That person should be held accountable. Rob hit on the fact of, the settlement and all of that is for, the civil thing, and that, with the settlement, that's something different. So, I understand taking that. I don't blame her family for that at all. Um, Also, if it would have been, and I did ask, a couple of different lawyers, and some of them were saying, well, yeah, they had no intent to commit murder, so you can't get them for murder. But had the shoe been on the other foot, they would have found every loophole and small law and everything to make sure that if that was a white person that got killed, that the black officers responsible would have went to jail, even if they had
We
to catch him
saw
on a
it.
technicality. Even if they
We
had to get him
saw
on
it.
a
Yeah.
technicality, they
Hold
would have
on,
got him.
hold on, Jay Ward. Not even black. You saw the other minority police officer. He went to jail. I can't remember what state it was. I can't remember.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. I think
Yeah.
I forget his ethnicity. He
He
ended
was
up
Somalian.
Somali.
Somalian American.
Yep. He went to jail for killing a white man.
And a white woman and her family got a settlement, and he got charged and convicted.
Yep.
And it happened here in Louisiana, the same thing. He went to jail swiftly. It happened very quickly. His whole trial and everything was quickly. Also, how is there a settlement for wrongful death, but there's no one charged for wrongfully killing the person? That doesn't make sense. Um, another thing that I think we should do is we need to make changes and not hashtags. I really appreciate seeing Breonna Taylor's name on the back of jerseys and on shoes, but at the end of the day, all of that is bullshit. It's the same
Yep.
way we're
Straight
playing the
up.
Negro national anthem in front before an NFL game. I don't care about that. I want to see change. Are you hiring black executives? Are you hiring black people in power? I don't care about playing the Negro national anthem before the game. That nobody asked for that. Nope. Breonna Taylor didn't ask for any of this, and she damn sure didn't ask to be put on the back of a jersey. What she really would want is the people that broke into her house, the criminals that broke into her house and murdered her, to be held accountable. At the end of the day, that's what she would have wanted. And I think that is the bottom line. Also, another thing that's just bugging me about this case is that these officers were pretty much operating off the books. Had they been on the books, they would have known that, hey, we already got the person that we're looking for. So you breaking into a house without without just cause. Last thing I'm gonna say about this, and I'm gonna move on, and I'll be done. There are no kingpins or millionaire drug dealers that live in the hood. Those people live way somewhere else. So why are y'all spending all these funds to trap a nickel and dime person? Y'all spending millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars to catch the dime bag man. Come on, man. That money should be spent trying to catch kingpins. They don't never do a no knock warrant on a Tony Montana. They don't go bother them people. They just let them live their lives on. But you want to catch the man that's making $75,000 from slanging dope. That doesn't make sense. So you spending all this taxpayer money for some bull. The people who you should do no knock warrants on are the people who are flight risk, which are the millionaires that have committed tax fraud. Those are the people who have the resources to flee and run. So you probably should go do some no knock warrants on them. But I'm gonna just get off of it because it's too much.
They got people on payroll, bro.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
boy.
You can only imagine how many. I read a report, bro, about they gentrifying Atlanta real bad. So I read a report about how developers are paying off cops to bring charges to poor people in these hoods around Atlanta, just so they can they can get kicked out of their apartment. Shit, wow, man.
So I'm gonna go to T next. I see Crow brewing. I just already know it's gonna be a lot. So T, go next. I'm gonna close it out with Crow.
No, I kind of already hit on it at the
Okay.
beginning, but as far as them no knock warrants, like I've seen that in person. I've
Yeah.
been in person with a no knock. They're not knocking, dog. They coming in.
Right in. Yeah.
They coming in. So of course, if people gotta understand when you live in the hood or wherever you live, you always on edge anyway. So if anybody coming in the house, I'm
It's on
grabbing my
go.
gun. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on. I know this is not supposed to be happening. I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm innocent. We are innocent people in this house, so there's no reason for people to be kicking in my door.
I know.
So that means I'm grabbing my gun and
And
I'm
I'm
shooting everybody. You see
yep.
what I'm saying?
And that
And
clip.
and and, and
And
like I said, I've seen a no knock warrant in person. So I know how it go. You know what I'm saying? And my last point, I ain't gonna keep it long, but I do think that defund the police need to change their slogan because I agree with defund the police and I understand what we mean when we say defund the police, but people only read headlines and when they hear defund the police, they go to the BS. You know what I'm saying? So again, I agree with defund the police and we should send other people to do some of the lower level police jobs. I agree with all of that, but I think that when we say defund the police, those people, they eyes get big, like, what? No, oh my God. And they put their black and blue flag on and they ready to go to war about it. And they
Yeah.
don't care what the article said, they just see defund the police. So I
Yeah.
do think we need to find another way to describe it.
And Danny said, even if you knock, I'm not expecting you. I'm still grabbing my pistol. So yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
still getting it. Like, what? Who is this? I'm not expecting nobody. Hell yes.
It's like you busting somebody's house in the middle of the night, bro. The first thing that you're going to do is grab your gun and
Mm-hmm.
see who the fuck in your house.
Yep.
And
You
see
don't.
I'm shooting. I ain't
eh,
seeing shit.
But I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, but of course in the hood you shooting, but it's like it's just crazy. It kind of piss you off how folks think those cops didn't do anything wrong. I don't care if you selling dope. You need to make sure your facts are right before you bust into somebody else's house.
Yeah,
Then you don't say anything means you going in there looking for trouble.
yeah, I
I
agree.
only hate that. And it's like I feel like we talking about Breonna Taylor, and is rightfully so. But I also think that we need to uplift and encourage the brother who's defending her. That man has to live with that for the rest of his life, and he's getting lost. And I understand it, but there's just some guilt that he's going to have on his chest for a long time.
Yeah,
And people blaming him at that. Like that's the other thing, man. It's like
Right. So I don't know like how the relationship is with her family and him, but I hope that it's a good relationship because he did what anybody else would have did in that type of situation.
Crow.
Um, and honestly, I am emotional. Um, process all of this loss we've encountered, um, especially in our lifetime, unjustly at the hands of law enforcement. And I constantly ask myself, what if that was my sister? Or some of these situations, what if it was my oldest brother or my youngest brother? And I know I'm not a peaceful person when it comes to my family. And so then I struggle with knowing that all Black people are an extension of me and questioning myself and how should I fight? I know I should vote, and I've been voting since I could vote. And I do my research, been doing my research. I I get on the campaign trail sometime. I'm not in the spotlight when I do it. And I, I've I struggle, I truly struggle with where is my place now and what I need to do to help my people. Because like you all keep saying, it's not gonna stop. I shared some of my brothers earlier where even when they was taking Black lives, they was taking financial means from us in 1874. And then in 1919, this is kind of like a repeat of what we're seeing in 2020. Yes, you see me wiping tears because if I don't let it out and I don't let it flow, I might end up doing something to cause harm to my livelihood. Um, that's how passionate I am about it and trying to find out what direction to head in. I'm tired of the lip service, to be honest.
Mhm.
That's why I was quiet. I've been meditating, trying to figure out what to truly do. And yes, I train law enforcement. And I found out, a few of my counterparts who train with me have decided to, kind of step away from it. And they are Black men. And, I had conflict with that also. Like, should I or shouldn't I? But if I do, because I work in some of the rural areas of Mississippi, and if no one is there to teach them how to work with us, then who's going to give them that firsthand experience? A book can't teach them what I teach them. Can I give them lived experience? So I'm gonna wrap it up by saying everybody just really figure out where you stand. If you in it, to be in it, be in it. Not to cause no foolishness. And if you are looking to cause some foolishness, you need to have some legitimacy or some validity of why you're causing this foolishness, not to just say I caused it. Um, let's be active. Let's support each other. I know we talked about kind of being against each other financially early, but that only comes to us now coming together. I know we support our Black women. I know y'all have a double fight when it comes to being here for the civil rights movement and for the feminist movement. So I understand that. And I know that's a struggle amongst you all, but we are needed right now as a whole. And as Black men, we need to protect them when we see them on the front line of this movement with us. And when they are looking for us to step up for them, let's do it. But I'm off that horse. I'm done.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Crow.
Absolutely, definitely appreciate it. And it's got to be tough training police officers for your job in the daytime, then going home at night and seeing them killing Black Americans. Like that has to be one of the toughest jobs. But if you, like you said, if you don't do it, who's gonna do it? I mean, we got to start to change somewhere. We got to be the change we want to see. But that has to be an absolute Black man. We got to ride for our Black women. I know we do it already. Now, I'm preaching to the choir with this panel, but we have to protect our Black women the best way we can. Like the guy, they busted in the door and they shot. He shot back. He did what he was supposed to do. He did what anybody else in this panel would have done. Shoot back, because I don't know who this is busting on me, who here in my family. You got to go one way or another, or we gonna have to shoot it out. He did what anybody would have done, in my
Yep.
opinion. He really did. So
Yep.
I don't know. You can't blame him for doing that. Like you can't blame that man for taking care and for trying to protect his family. This is a tough situation. Like, and then you got a Black man doing everything he can to make sure the white police officers are not going to jail. Like, I don't know, y'all. Like, this is tough. This one is tough. And where do we
Yeah.
change? Like Jay Ward said, I'm tired of seeing the jerseys. I'm tired of the hashtags. I'm tired of putting my hands up. When are we going to start actually seeing change? Painting Black Lives Matter in the street is doing absolutely nothing.
Zero.
Nothing.
Nothing.
What actions are we going to see?
And you know what, Swift? Let me say this, and it might transition us. I know we're running out of time, but one of the first things that we can do is just like Deion Sanders did, and I'm not just saying it because he went to Jackson State, but show up at the Black schools and say, hey, look, we're not going to continue to send our wealth, which is our young, strong men and women and our intellectual cities, historically racist universities. We're not going to keep sending our kids there. We're going to send them to where they're going to be taken care of. And I think that that's very important to send our wealth, and not just our athletes, but our wealth, our super intellectual students, everybody, send them to where they're going to be taken care of. I live in Louisiana. I know LSU and all of that good stuff. And LSU is taught like a religion here. But at the end of the day, LSU is not going to ride. And you saw what Coach Ogeron, where he lies. So, those people are not going to ride for us. Send those students to Southern or Grambling or Jackson State, Alcorn Valley, send them where they're going to be taken care of.
Don't send them to Alcorn though. We ain't gonna go that far.
Or Southern,
So,
for that matter.
we ain't going that far. But yeah,
Send the
send.
UAPB.
Okay, we can do UAPB. I like Power, but please send your kids to an HBCU. Send your money to HBCUs. Let's try to uplift the Black community up in other ways than putting it on social media. And I taught this in the class. I talked to a friend about social media pretty much taking over our lives. That documentary, Social Dilemma on Netflix, that blew my mind. That
Yeah,
I'm a,
that was a
I
good
haven't
one. That was
watched
a
it yet.
good
I'm,
one. I
I'm, I'm
watched
gonna
that,
watch it probably next
bro.
weekend. I got a scheduled TV time over here.
listen, watch that show.
Yeah,
We gotta talk about
yeah. Check it out. Check it out, bro.
Man, I was gonna talk about that, man. Like I've seen so many arguments, and I believe that black men and black women fight with each other so much on social media is because we're easy targets, which is another reason why I believe that we harm each other so much because we can't harm the people who are actually harming us. But I've seen so many people, black women and black men, arguing with each other about this Breonna Taylor situation when none of us caused it, none of us can fix it, but people believe that symbolic gestures will do something for actual justice. And so they
Mhm.
Right.
believe mentioning her name on social media, putting a hashtag up, making her a trending topic is going to somehow help this situation when we all know that's useless. But
Mhm.
what we saw was black women and black men literally arguing with each other because a black man didn't mention her, talk about her on social media, or a black woman. It's pointless to argue about this stuff amongst ourselves when we aren't the enemy. We can't convict these people.
Right.
We can't arrest them. So why are we bickering about things that are useless? Making her a trending topic or her not being a trending topic actually made a mockery of her name than
Exactly.
helping her name.
Mhm.
And so we have to get off of this symbolic social media gender war thing about issues that we can't control.
And Rob, I think one thing too is that I think one of the reasons why social media is so prevalent and we go to social media so much is because we haven't been heard historically, and we feel like
Escape
we
from
have
reality.
we have these platforms, and now we have to get it out because this is the only time we're going to be heard. But we can be heard in other ways, and I do think you should use social media as a platform, but it's not the only way. And like you said, it's not affecting policy. It's not creating real
Oh,
change. It's just it might create change within your own circle, but what are you really doing? Are you really putting your feet to the ground and trying to create change?
And that may be a topic we need to dive in, like really, really, really dive into, like the impact of social media on Black culture and Black people as a whole. Um, but somebody, let's go back to HBCUs for a second because we need to wrap this up, and we're gonna try to wrap it up on a high note. Deion Sanders is now the head football coach at the Alpha Beta University. Um,
Coach Prime.
I've seen some people put in a negative light on social media on Facebook. So I just want to talk about it just for a real quick, brief time tonight. He is the head coach. I don't expect anything other than him being a head coach for Jack State in the state of Jackson. But that does come with benefits. Him being a head coach at Jack State benefits Jackson State and other HBCUs and Jackson. But for y'all, when y'all first saw that Dion was going to be the head, like it's official, he got the on the shirt. Miss Marie, it is absolutely Alphabet University. Continuing on, what did y'all think? Like how? Go ahead, T. Gossy. Go ahead, T.
Nah, I was saying I should have wore the AB University shirt tonight. I should have
hey,
wore
I
the
almost
shirt.
wore mine too, man.
I do have to. I wear it next time. But what did y'all think? Like how great of a move is this for Alpha Beta University and for other HBCUs?
Man, well, of course, the Jews let shit leak like way before it was announced. Man, somebody told me and that was like a month ago. And I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. I don't believe that. And I ain't even entertained it. But to see the man walk on stage, man, it just speak with that confidence, man. It just make you want to run through a wall for the man. Then you saw Tracy on his arm. You like, man, that she almost like took over the press conference and kicked the bug.
Right.
But man, I feel like Deion Sanders is probably one of the best marketers. Like the man is a phenomenal marketer. Like people who didn't even know Jackson State existed, they know now. So the boom is popular, but a lot of people really don't know Jackson State. So that brought a lot of attention to Jackson State. And I just feel like I feel like even if he leaves after 2 years, I feel like if if they make the right moves, he set a foundation that can trend on for about 5 or 6 years. I just feel like he's going to bring in some kids that otherwise wouldn't even let us in the room, and it's not going to be easy. But I expect an immediate impact. I think Jackson State already got talent on the roster, but it's just going to bring like a lot of attention to the university as a whole. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if Candyland Jared Jones make a private donation to Jackson State or something. I wouldn't even be surprised if that happened. You just never know. So it's exciting for me. Like I can't wait to Rona over with so I can go to a game in peace and celebrate because it's going to be good for however long he's there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 2 or 3 years, but I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Let me jump in, Swift. Can I jump in?
Go ahead.
I think one of the things that, for one, I don't think people understand who Dion is. This man dominated baseball. Like he was the best player for the Atlanta Braves in the World Series while also playing football for the Atlanta Falcons. Like people miss that. Some people are a tad bit too young to remember that. And not only that, but he also dominated. He could have been the best receiver in football and
Yeah.
the best
Hmm.
cornerback in football at the same time. The only equivalent I can give you to this is if Michael Jordan himself became a head coach. That's the only equivalent. Like the biggest thing I can think of is Penny Hardaway taking that Memphis job. Other than that, there has not been a big name athlete to decide to become a head coach, and definitely not at an HBCU, but definitely a high profile athlete like that. Because usually, for one, their money is right, so they have no need to go get a job. Two, and Dion doesn't have a need to get a job. This is a want. This is not a need because he's rich. Also, I think that they usually go into TV and things like that, but there has never been this high profile of an athlete to take a job. I think Brett Favre, when he took his job, it's more so like kind of voluntary and things like that. But I know that Dion is not coming to be the savior of Jackson. But when LeBron James, my favorite basketball player ever, when LeBron left Cleveland, I saw a statistic that said he took almost $2 billion in revenue with him when he left Cleveland. So yes, your athletes matter, your sports programs matter, and Jackson does not have a professional team. And I also realized this years ago, Mississippi is one of the only states that doesn't even have a bowl game. And Alabama has several. Louisiana has several. So we don't even have a bowl game in Mississippi. And when you have a high profile athlete, it benefits everybody. When he's doing well, Jackson does well. When Jackson does well, Mississippi does well. So we need to make sure that we understand that. And then, of course, we're going to compete with Alcorn. That's fine. That's great. When Steve McNair was rolling, I was cheering for it because I is in HBCU, the HBCU family is just like a black family. We can joke on each other and talk about each other, but people on the outside, you better not say nothing. Like you have nothing to say. We gonna all band together when you come against us. Um, One of the things that he's saying is that if you have the talent, you can go pro from anywhere. And I've always said that if you have that talent, people are going to find you no matter where. Cotton Bowl is. I see that comment. Cotton Bowl is in Dallas. You are going to be found if you have that talent. People are going to find you. Also, all Coach Prime. Two more points. Coach Prime, if he can recruit Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia, he fine. He don't got to go nowhere else. You don't got to go to California, none of that. Like if you want to and they looking for you, then that's fine. But if you can recruit those southern states, Texas, and all of that, you good. You don't have to go outside. It's so much talent in Jackson alone. Like I've seen it with my own eyes. I am not a product of Jackson Public Schools, but I've seen the talent. If you can just recruit and keep those people in house, then we'll be good. Also, I know that they extended an offer to his son. For everybody saying that that was the wrong move, you don't know anything about sports and you probably should do more research. Yes, I know he could go to school for free because that's his son, or he could afford to pay for his son to go to school, but you have to extend an official offer and extend a scholarship before you can even entertain that particular person. And it's so many coaches in the world whose sons or daughters played for them when they were in school. So don't just make it seem like this is the first person who did that. They either have their nephew playing for them or their son or whatever, or a friend of the family and all that. So don't act like that's the first time that that's happened. If his son comes, that's great. His son didn't need his dad to take a job at Jackson State because his son was already being recruited because he's a 4-star athlete. So
Right.
and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and it's the same thing I was gonna say about the Breonna Taylor thing. If you are not knowledgeable about the subject, then shut the hell up and don't say nothing about it at all. If you don't know nothing about how football works or recruiting works, or if you don't know nothing about the law system and this Breonna Taylor system, it's okay, Charles Barkley, to not say anything at all. Just if you don't know anything about it, just hush. Just sit this one out. I don't know how to do makeup. So guess what? I don't talk about makeup because I don't know nothing about it.
Two
Well,
quick comments.
hey,
I'm gonna get these two.
go ahead, Swill.
Let me get these two quick comments in.
All
People
right.
said people should now that these black athletes are deciding to leave and go play on the Dion. It's a beautiful start of a beautiful black revolution. So, T, if you would answer the question, do you see more black athletes trending towards HBCUs? That's the first comment. Second comment,
Yeah.
Jay Breed, if I can mute you, I would. We are not talking about no damn Falcons. We are Saints fans and Cowboys fans and other fans.
Ooh,
You don't like
no.
the Cowboys either.
Who a Cowboy fan? Ah, Crowley. Fuck
Eagles, oh damn. Broncos,
Cowboy.
the Saints, we are who that still, baby. What you talking about? Go ahead, T.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like a lot of the stuff that Dion was saying, he was talking in code. You know what I'm saying? He said he loves to see his people. He loves to talk to his people, my people. He's saying stuff like that. He's talking about the climate of the world right now, as far as the climate is perfect for black people to support everything black. HBCUs and all everything, black businesses, everything black. That is the culture right now. We have to make it cool. Like I said, like in the beginning of Brothers Being Two, we have to make supporting each other cool. We have to make HBCUs a powerhouse. And a person of Deion Sanders' statue, one of the top 10, I would say top 5 NFL players ever, but we'll say top 10 just to be on the safe side. Top 10 NFL player chooses to come to Jackson State, HBCU in the middle of Mississippi to coach. He could have went to any college he wanted to, but he chose our school at this particular time because it is time for black people to stick together. It's all about the culture. So of course, athletes are going to come to HBCUs. I don't care if they go to Jackson State. Long as we support our athletes coming to our school, we put money back into our school, which indeed helps our community. You see what I'm saying? So that's number one. Now, as far as number two, when I think of mentors, see everybody talking about Deion Sanders, the person. When I think of mentors, I think of Snoop with his Pee Wee Football League. He's been doing that for 20 years. I think of Uncle Luke. He been doing it for 20 years. And I think of Deion Sanders. He's been coaching and mentoring young kids that's in the NFL right now. They look up to Deion and they say that Deion is the reason why they're in the NFL. And these are rookies now that he has mentored. And you can go back 10, 15 years of people that Deion has mentored. So for him to be at Jackson State, okay, he don't have the coaching experience. But again, if you have the right team around you, and Deion is a salesman, he's confident, and he is knowledgeable of the game. So I can't take that away from the man. And on top of that, he also is a great mentor of men. He pushes black men. He understands black men. And another thing, Dion cocky and we cocky. Jackson
We
State,
arrogant,
we
arrogant
are the yes.
bastard.
We are cocky. We are arrogant. So I think it is a match made in heaven. Now I do want to say our fans are fickle and we will fire a coach. But I do feel like Dion has a great opportunity for himself as well as Jackson State. It's not really a win it's a win for everybody. It's not just a one-sided type of thing. It's a win for Jackson State. It's a win for Deion Sanders, and it's a win for HBCUs in general. Have you seen the news this week? We've been on ESPN, Good Morning America, Fox Sports with Shannon and Skip,
everywhere.
everywhere.
Plus the video he put out
Everywhere.
with everybody shouting him out, like people.
Yeah.
I be like, what? All these
That
people,
was
like, y'all
dope.
now know
Yeah.
where Jackson State Alphabet University is. Like they know where they know who we are. They had no clue before. Now everybody knows who Alphabet University is. And if you want to, I love ABU or I love Alphabet University shirt, hit up T because we'll have those in production soon. Who,
Definitely.
who else got something to say?
So Dion brings a corporation with him, just his body alone. He brings a machine with him. The other thing is Dion knows a lot of people, but these people wouldn't be putting their necks on the line if Dion wasn't a great person.
Mhm.
Right.
Not just a good coach, you know, not just a mentor, not just knowledgeable of the game, but he has a good track record. You know, you talk about men and you talk about the experiences that multiple people have with a man will tell you how that man is over a course of time. You know, someone is not
Right.
just good to you, you know, and horrible to somebody else. You know, it's not a respected person. He has been a great person. It's clear that he's just a genuinely good person to everybody. And so that type of character is going to be well needed, not only at Jackson State, but in the people that he, you know, comes in contact with on the campus or around Jackson itself. Another thing is this is an extreme morale booster for that freshman or sophomore in the middle of the Delta in Mississippi Valley State, or this freshman that's come to Jackson State or that's going to Alcorn, that tells them that we at an HBCU are good enough. You know, we live in the HBCU bubble, so we have a lot of HBCU pride. We have a lot of school pride. But outside of our school, we have to kind of tell people what our school is. But this puts Jackson State on the map to let everybody know that Jackson State is good enough. We knew it was good enough. You know, the people that went there, we chose Jackson State. We love Jackson State. But it's the people outside of us that are now realizing if Dion put himself on the line for Jackson State, that shows that Jackson State is good enough. And that's going to be a morale booster, not only for the athletes, but for the students that are going to Jackson State and that may choose to go to Jackson State or any HBCU, not only in the SWAC, but nationwide.
Hold on, Jay Ward and Devin, please don't get us shot in these comments tonight. Y'all chill out. Y'all please chill out. We gonna get shot. And like Danny said, Dan Cortez Bryant, the former manager of Lil Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj, is now teaching. He's dubbed T, but he's now teaching music classes at Jackson State. So this is like the time to be an HBCU graduate and the time to be alumni or a current student at Jackson State. Like we're receiving a lot of great publicity now. When we didn't do it, Snacks probably was the initiator though. He really put us in the spotlight, and then it's just been all uphill from then. Like we are really doing great things at Alphabet University, and like we said, if you want a I love Alphabet University shirt, let us know. T gonna have those in production.
Already.
All right, anybody else? Who hadn't talked?
I
Go
just definitely want to kind of get into the crab in the barrel mentality that's going around the city amongst us as a people. Um, we're always quick to down somebody when they're basically getting, um, in a high position, basically, or put in the spotlight, even if they don't have the experience that they're looking for. Remember, you didn't have the experience when you started off at something along the way, whether it's riding a bike, whether it was flipping that first burger, whether it's the job you at now. You didn't have that experience. So I would just speak up on more so. Let's continue to raise the positivity amongst ourselves. Um, putting the flames out of the negativity that we hear or see out there. Um, we shouldn't promote any memes against us, any gifs against us. Only like I say, the positive. Let's support. If you got the cash, spend it. If you don't, save it. And if you don't really have the means, push those you know to go and support. And if they say they don't want to go to the games, or if they don't like Jackson State and they got the cash, tell them for your birthday. Tell them for the next gift you want. Tell them to buy you some Jackson State. You know, I love. Or either whatever HBCU that in your area. Just support that, support them. And if you're traveling, stop by, visit your nearest HBCU. One summer, me and my line brother and a few more brothers went on a whole HBCU tour. Uh, like
Oh, Crow.
no, but no. What I'm saying is, I got a chance to network. I got a chance to network with other individuals because, like I said, y'all wow,
I was there. I
y'all
was
wow,
there.
y'all wow.
I remember West Georgia now.
Oh, see what I'm saying? But we got a chance. We got a chance to network though. We got a chance to meet other like-minded individuals.
That's great networking, man. That's great networking.
Y'all doing too much.
What Crow's saying is we are some approachable,
well-traveled individuals.
well-traveled.
Absolutely.
I needed that laugh. Boy, y'all crazy.
We don't mind, going out and meeting people where they are. This is like coming out good. Hold on. Corey, you talking. Corey, say something, Corey. Shoot.
Yeah, Corey, straighten us out, man. Get this thing back.
We want to visit our on-site good guy Corey Brown, because our good guy correspondent Corey Brown.
I ain't got no comment on that
one, man. So what we're saying is we recognize the importance of all the HBCUs. And in doing so, we don't mind going to those HBCUs to give our
school spirit.
Yeah, school spirit.
Sharing the love that
Right.
1400 taught us.
Exactly. Showing that these HBCUs matter and giving them the attention that they deserve, they might not get from somewhere else.
And definitely breaking the stereotype of what they see as far as Phi Beta Sigma, because Alpha Beta is totally a whole different beast.
Exactly. And black men, like Alpha Beta, will. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. Final thoughts for the night.
Listen.
Final thoughts.
I just want everybody to stay encouraged, man. I know we got bad news with the Breonna Taylor situation, so I just want everybody to stay encouraged. As far as Dion, let's look to the future. I think this is a great opportunity for HBCUs for the nation. So we definitely have to rise to the occasion and lead the pack like we usually do, like Jackson State usually does. We are the leaders of HBCUs, and hopefully, like I said on Facebook, people will donate to Jackson State because they act like the only colleges that they know are Morehouse, Spelman, and Howard. So hopefully this will put us on those corporate lists so we can get those millions and millions. And as far as on the financial thing with families and black men and black women, look, black men have standards too. So let us be.
I'm not gonna go back to the other topics because it'll just take me back down the path. But I do want to say that Alpha Beta is not for the streets. I don't know where that myth comes. I don't know where that myth comes from, but Alpha Beta is not for the streets. Is a chapter of wholesome young men, and I just want to continue to encourage my young, innocent, wholesome brothers to keep maintaining that reputation of alpha beta.
Hold, hold on. Alicia said, all I would say is maybe came to our sidewalk show.
Alicia lying, man.
What happened?
that is not,
What
What she say?
happened?
that
Hold
is
on.
not what happened, man.
Rob, what happened, Rob? We gotta know.
No, we gotta go on, man. Corey,
Okay,
you are.
put it in the group chat.
Hey,
In the group chat.
Alicia, no, Alicia, that was not us. That was not us. Definitely not us.
Oh man.
Go ahead, Corey.
Um, I believe in Prime. I just want to, as far as the system, I just want us to unify and protect each other. I feel like we're too divisive as a people. It's too many. It's too many tug of wars, man. Too many crabs in that bucket. So we gotta do better as a people. I missed the topic about financial security, so I don't really have anything to say about that. I do feel like though, if you're struggling, you shouldn't be dating. So I do feel like that, but outside
Woo.
of that, I'm good.
Rob.
I'm gonna go back to my resident Bolton native E and say I said what I said, and that's about it.
Beat your ass too then. Crow.
When it comes to that finance, communicate, but there's levels to it. Don't give out all your financial situation on the first week of knowing somebody. Um, when it comes to uh, Breonna Taylor, definitely, I'm just trying to find my position in all of this to make the greatest change. And I think you all need to do the same. And I'm going to continue to push us coming together as one. Um, and also to close it out, man, honestly, I'm grateful to be a graduate of DLL. Grateful to say I grew up in the city of Jackson, to be born and raised right now in this moment of time, because we have faced a lot of negativity coming from Jackson. I'm a son of Jackson, so I'm grateful for this moment. I can only envision the economic growth that's going to come from it. I hope that they don't push everyone out during the regentrification process,
Right.
and be truly understanding to those who still want to be a part of and not pushed out just because something great has come into the city. I want us to support the city, Jackson State, and let's get out and vote for those who we know that's going to do the right thing. And when we see them not doing the right thing, knock on their damn door and ask them, why the hell they not doing what you put them in office for? Y'all be
Yep.
safe out there as you guys continue to protest. Let's be smart about it. Those who are going to be the street soldiers, you all be very tactical in what you all do, because remember, we're telling you guys the system is not designed for us at all. Um, and for my black queens, know you all are protected. Just make sure you surround yourself with men who will protect you and not look from it all black men. Because as we can see, that punk ass DA ain't gonna protect his black queen.
Absolutely. I just got a few things to say. I am tired of the symbolism and the symbolistic moves and putting things on T-shirts and paving streets with Black Lives Matter. Like, let's start moving towards action. Like, let's see action. That's tired and played out, and it doesn't solve anything. We're seeing these murders back to back to back. Like, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see another murder of a black person on camera in the next couple of months because nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And with that being said, do not be afraid to protect yourself and go out and purchase a firearm. Look, I'm shooting at the first thing come my door is unannounced. Do not be afraid to protect yourself. And I agree with my boy Corey. Do not, if you're not financially secure, you're not ready. Don't start dating. I mean, do what you got to do to get to where you need to be to start dating. Dealing with the toxic work environment. Listen, we are in these comments. We are on this show. We are putting it all out there. But do what you need to do to take care of your mental health. If you are in a toxic work environment, please go and talk to somebody or find a way to deal with it because you shouldn't have to deal with it at all. And going to work every day and dealing with the same BS every day is horrible for your mental life. Please take care of yourself. You need to stress yourself out and kill yourself in this environment because they just going to, somebody said, they're going to replace you before they even get the obituary printed. So take care of yourself. And as far as I love Alpha Beta University. Listen,
Speak on
this
it.
is a great move for all HBCUs. I know I talk a lot of trash about Alcorn or Southern, Grambling, but this is a great move for all HBCUs. As much as I don't like y'all, I love all y'all still. We're gonna whoop y'all ass in the spring and the fall, but we love y'all, and we're not gonna let anybody else talk trash about y'all. We'll talk trash about y'all, but somebody that went to a PWR, a white person, we not around. And with all that being said, I just want to thank everyone for watching. Please do not let the conversations end here tonight and end in the comments. Continue to have these conversations with the people that you love. Should have the conversation with us. All of our social medias are on, I mean, we're here on Facebook right now. So you can reach out to any of us at any, let me rephrase it. You can reach out to most of us at any time. Some of these people you can't reach out to at certain times of night because they'll probably get killed. So
Rob.
please reach out to us, but make sure it's respectful. I don't care. You can reach out to
For
us
real.
day or night. And please follow Brother Fit too on Instagram and Facebook. We'll probably get a Twitter page soon. That'll be in the works. I really don't care for Twitter too much. I don't care for Facebook either. But
We
and just
know why, Swift. It's okay.
Listen,
Somebody got ran off. Ran off.
listen.
now,
I just want to tell Kill, man, that your mama made the best food, and I just want you to keep all our secrets. Keep them. Don't be in the comments.
Get Kim and Fee off the comments, man. You gotta block them
I
now.
just I just want to say, Swift,
Good
if they want to
time.
continue this thread on how wholesome Alpha Beta men are, we can keep that thread going because we all know that that's the truth.
you know what? I might start a Facebook thread tomorrow on the good experiences you've had with an Alpha Beta man.
I think they can go left. Don't do that.
Or don't.
Cause they gonna be lying, man. They gonna be lying.
Nah,
So,
bro, don't do.
I'm gonna
don't do
see.
that.
You
Just
might, you
post.
might,
Keep,
you
keep,
might
keep the
start a
pictures
riot,
going.
man.
If it goes left, but I might go on and post it. Zay, I write my number to you. We can talk tomorrow. But like I said, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Y'all have a great evening. Look for that thread on Facebook tomorrow. I'm starting it.
Shout out to the Celtics. Look like they might stretch this to 6 games and then lose that
Yeah.
6 game.
It's
Man,
going
y'all be
7,
safe.
bro. It's
Y'all be
going
safe.
7. I
It's
told
not
you
going
it's going
7.
7. It's
It's
going
not
7.
going
Laker
7.
Nation, baby. Laker Nation, baby. And I ain't no
LeBron James
LeBron,
Nation.
man. It's all about the Lakers, baby. Let's go.
LeBron James Nation. Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks and the
Man,
All
Philadelphia
right,
Eagles.
y'all be easy. Y'all
LeBron.
have a
It's
great
about them Lakers.
All
Y'all be
right,
Yeah.
safe.
folks.
Much love. Peace.
You see that comment after the
Y'all
boy
be
stepdaddy?
I'm gonna end it on that note.
Ooh.